What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your main man David back on the mic, and the NFL playoffs are upon us. Literally in about 2 hours as of this recording, we kick off the final stretch of the season and watch the best 14 teams battle for the right to hoist the Lombardi trophy. Yes, I know I procrastinated a little bit, but this video will be out before the first game starts. And I mean, the NFL scriptwriters cooked here. The playoff matchups are looking really good, and I'm really excited for these games. But before we start, if you're a fan of football or sports in general, make sure to like and subscribe because we are talking all things sports here at Ball Don't Lie. For our first matchups, we have the Cleveland Browns heading to Houston to face the red-hot Houston Texans. And the Cleveland Browns are hot, winning their last 4 games with the 38-year-old fresh off the couch Joe Flacco. And Flacco has been doing his thing. He's been throwing the air out the ball. He hasn't been afraid to push the ball downfield, which for a backup quarterback stepping into his kind of situation is a very pleasant surprise. Usually backup quarterbacks are there. They're there not to make mistakes and just kind of manage the game, but he's been electric. Even though the turnovers are kind of worrying, 8 picks in 5 games, he's been balling. He's been balling. Now with the Browns, Denzel Ward did suffer an injury in practice, and he's questionable for the game today, but it's looking like he will play, and man, the Browns do need him. When Denzel Ward's on the field and man coverage, the Browns hold the opposing quarterback to an 18 QBR with the 7-11 touchdown to interception ratio. And man, CJ Stroud and the Texans are hot going into this game, making their first playoff appearance since 2019. This team is gutsy with head coach DeMeco Ryans calling the defense, offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick with the offense, and the Texans offense has been electric, and they take care of the football, and their defense is pretty good, and they can get stops when needed. CJ Stroud, offensive rookie of the year, most definitely. He's led the league in touchdown interception ratio, and he's been making plays. He's been clutch all season, and of course he has weapons like Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, Tank Dell when he was healthy, but CJ has found a way to make plays and lead this team. The key for him this game is to be efficient against man coverage, which has been a weakness for him. Because I think this game will be a shootout, as both defenses are good at stopping the run, Houston being 6th in run defense and Cleveland being 11th in run defense. And I think playoff Joe Flacco will play a factor. He's experienced and he's playing well, pushing the ball downfield, and he's been in situations like this. And the thing with the Texans' young core is they haven't. They don't know what they don't know. But however, if the Texans can force some turnovers and CJ Stroud takes care of the ball like he has been, there's a path to victory. But I think the final score will be 35-31 Cleveland Browns. For the next matchup, we have the Chiefs hosting the Dolphins at Arrowhead. I think this might be the most straightforward pick of the weekend, but let's break it down anyway. First of all, we know Miami chokes against good teams. But the main question is, how will they approach their run game? The game is going to have a negative 30-degree wind chill, and with the way Tyreek has been dropping balls, they're probably not going to air it out like they want to. The Chiefs found a way to slow their outside run game last time by using their motion to identify, what kind of direction they were going to go in, and they found a way to include pressure off of that defensive action. And if the Dolphins fall behind, I mean, do they keep running the football or are they tempted to pass? We still don't know yet. But for the Chiefs, I believe as long as they don't turn the football over, they will win this game handedly. It probably won't be a blowout because of the weather, but they will dominate this game, time of possession wise, and just keeping the ball away from the Dolphins. I mean, they're used to playing in this weather, and the Dolphins are missing 5 starters on defense, including Xavier Howard, Bradley Chubb, and the rest of the crew, and their 2 starting safeties are also questionable. I think Kelsey is going to cook. Mahomes and him will get that connection back. They'll lean on Pacheco for their run game, and Kelsey will set up mismatches in that pass game, and they will win this game 21-10. Our third game of the weekend is Steelers at Buffalo Bills, and I believe this game is closer than what a lot of people think it will be. My keys to this game are running the ball and turnover battle. The game is going to be very windy and cold, and neither team is going to throw the ball a whole lot. I mean, with Josh Allen's arm, maybe the Bills might, but with the Steelers, I expect them to run the ball, and trust their defense to lock up. While Mason Rudolph has been playing really well these last few games, they don't have TJ Watt. And for the Bills, it's the same thing. They have an MVP candidate at quarterback, and I expect them to be a 2-headed monster in the run game with Josh Allen and James Cook, and to pound the rock. While I don't believe the Bills can just run to a victory, I believe Josh Allen will need to make a play or two with his arm, because you can't just run it every play. With the 30-mile-per-hour winds, they will definitely be running a lot. I believe Josh Allen's going to play smart football, take what the defense gives him, and in this game, I believe Josh Allen's going to play smart football, take what the defense gives him, and because in this game, there's such minimal room for error, Allen can't do his hero ball thing and turn the ball over like he has all season. The Steelers defense will need to force a turnover or two to win the game, just because I think offensively they won't be able to keep up with the Bills. And I think it's an ugly game, but Josh Allen takes care of the football and he makes the 1 or 2 plays necessary to beat the Steelers, and they win 17-10. Our fourth game of the weekend is the Green Bay Packers traveling to Jerry World to take on the Dallas Cowboys. And I mean, the Packers have done it again. The emergence of Jordan Love has been a sight to see. They might have found the third quarterback in the line following Favre and Rodgers. And while the Packers have been great second half of the season, and credit to Matt LaFleur for doing a great coaching job, I just think this task is too tall for them. This Cowboys team has the best offense in the league at home, averaging 37 points per game. And defensively, they play so much better at home, allowing only 16 points per game. The Dak CD connection, I believe, is in for a big day. Jair Alexander is questionable going into this game, and CeeDee Lamb has been on a tear. And while the Packers did a good job at getting pressure on Fields last week, this O-line is much better across the board versus the Bears O-line. And while the Cowboys haven't run the ball effectively all year, I don't think the Packers will be able to pressure Dak enough to impact the passing game that much. The Cowboys, on the other hand, have led the league in pressures all year and are a top defense overall. They haven't been good against the run, but I believe the Cowboys will get out to a fast start, putting the Packers behind from the jump, forcing them trying to play catch up. The defense will put pressure on Jordan Love in his first playoff start, and his inexperience will show. This has been the best year of Dak's career, and I believe the experience of Dak and the Cowboys will allow them to cruise to a 31-14 victory, extending their home game win streak to 17 games. For our fifth game of the weekend, the prodigal son Matthew Stafford returns to his old stomping grounds at Ford Field. For the first playoff game in that stadium in about, 20 or 30 years? The Rams have won 7 of their last 8 games, with their only loss coming in overtime to the Ravens, who many believe is the best team in the league. They've been explosive offensively as they're ranked 7th in yards per game and 8th in points per game. The four-headed monster of Matthew Stafford, Kyren Williams, Puka Nacua, and Cooper Kupp have been doing their thing this year. And defensively, while the Rams haven't been the best in the league, they've proven they can get stops when needed, and they definitely do play as a collective. They don't have too many name brand guys in that defense, but that interior D-line duo with Colby Turner and Aaron Donald is definitely menacing, and they will play a factor today. And the Lions, honestly, have been just as good offensively, if not better, ranking top 3 in points per game and 5th in yards per game. And while defensively this Lions team is not the best, similar to Los Angeles, the Lions have been able to get key stops in key situations. We all know the Lions are going to play physical football. They're going to run the ball downhill and pound the rock with their duo of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. They're looking to make Jared Goff as comfortable as possible, and they have the ability to do that. They have a stellar offensive line with a star tackle in Penei Sewell, who might be the best center in the league in Frank Ragnow, and many others. While the Lions have been a great story this season, that secondary is suspect. The Lions have given up the 4th most passing yards this season at 4,562 yards, and even though they run the ball physically, I expect Colby Turner and Aaron Donald to be a factor in slowing down this run game. And I believe this means Jared Goff is going to have to make some plays. And in the playoffs, Jared Goff is only averaging 216 yards a game with a 1.3 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio in 6 playoff games. The Rams are going to throw the ball all over the yard against this defense, and Kyren Williams will be effective in setting up play action. And I don't trust Goff to make the necessary plays without his run game dominating, and the Rams win this 38-21. The last game of the weekend is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles have been the biggest disappointment of this season after starting 10-1. They can't stop a nosebleed defensively. I mean, they're 30th in points allowed. They haven't been able to generate any pressure. Their defense has allowed the 5th most passing yards in the NFL with 4,551 yards allowed. That means that secondary is primed for some cooking. Jalen Hurts is injured, and with the Bucs ranking 7th and opponent points per game, I believe they're going to pull off the upset. Baker Mayfield has been good this year. He has played more like the #1 overall pick more than ever. He's surpassed 4,000 yards with 28 touchdowns, and he's been a leader for this scrappy Bucs team, leading them to a home playoff game. And I believe Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are going to feast. Baker Mayfield is going to make the plays necessary, and the Eagles are going to end their disappointing season here in Tampa Bay, and the Bucs will win a close game 23-17. Those are my playoff picks. Are they valid? Did I cook? Let me know in the comment section what you think, and don't forget to like and subscribe, comment, share, the whole ordeal. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok for more sports content as well here on the channel. And it has been your main man, David from Ball Don't Lie, signing off.